Alright, let us continue with Turnabout Big Top, and if you think things are weird up until this point, we are going to talk to a clown. Literally. December 29, 11:54 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Why do we switch lobbies every time? Sweetie, you have to believe me, I didn't go anywhere near that crime scene. So then, where were you when the murder took place? We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's room. And while you were there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right? Exactly, he told me to wait in the room because he would be right back. That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right? That's what it seems like. But the ringmaster must have been wearing Max's costume, right? Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room still dressed in my stage clothes. But when I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off. Which means... it means that the ringmaster could have taken his costume and went out looking like Max. Fabulous! That's a fabulously possible possibility. Ahaha, well done, Nick. However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, all they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go? Double? Wow, Max, I never thought of that. You should be a detective or something. Well, I was never quite sure what to be when I grew up. Magician or president? You have no idea how hard it was to make a decision. That's really cool. Fabulous. This mystery just keeps getting deeper. December 29, 12:06 PM, District Court, courtroom number 2. Now that everyone is back, let's get started. The court is now back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please proceed with the prosecution's case. Very well, I shall now call my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing. Why didn't you call him first? If he saw everything, why didn't you call him first? Will Mr. Lawrence Curls please take the stand? Why did she just call him a pitiful clown? Oh. The witness will state his name and occupation for the court record. In West... what? Name and occupation. Would the witness please inform the court why he is speaking autobiographical gibberish? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just not used to being in court. I've never been in a courtroom in my life. I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited to this sort of occasion. What in the world are you talking about? You are in a grand hall of justice, not some comedy club. Since it is easy to see your occupation, please state your name for the court. Oh yeah, maybe this joke's okay. Mum, do I have to wear pants? The sign only says no shirt, no shoes, no service. LeMayo. Okay, how about this? Have you met my proctologist, Dr. Seymour Butts? How was that one? Ha 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 ha. Your name? Lawrence Curls, professional funny man, also known as Mo the Clown. You witnessed the scene at around 10:15 PM the day of the murder. Correct. Yes, it is. Very well, Mr. Curls, will you please testify to what you saw that evening? A rabbi, a priest, and a Rastafarian walked into... No, without the humor, please. Okay. Oh, poor Mo can't be his normal stoogey self in court. He's got a problem. He needs to see someone about that. What you witnessed? I know I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. Good, I'm glad you know. I haven't been able to make people laugh for 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare and polite applause. That's funny. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've taken to laughing at them myself. It's a bad habit, but hey, at least I'm trying. You should change jobs. Imagine my predicament. I'm a clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. But I keep trying. I even tried to come up with a joke just for today. Just for today. But this atmosphere is very nerve-wracking. I've decided to try making everyone laugh. Seriously, everyone. What do you think of me? How am I doing? Awful. That's not a testimony. Aren't we the ones supposed to be asking the questions here? Witness! Huh? We will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Thus, please stick to the facts of this case. Really? You really hear me out? No. Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your straight man later. Thank you. Thank you, I can't wait. Poor Gumshoe. Now that's settled, shall we begin once again with the testimony? Of course we can. I'll talk for as long as you want. What you witness? The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away though. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. That's very interesting. If this eyewitness account is to be believed, I have enough to pass judgment right now. Of course you can. There is no way this account can be criticized. However, the witness is a bit, how do you say, off-kilter. He's a clown. Almost like he has some sort of atmosphere of guilt surrounding him. LeMayo! That must be because of my insincere smile, yes. Mr. Wright, please begin the defense's cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, you've got to find some kind of contradiction in his testimony. I know that. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, I'm afraid that if you push this witness too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. Thus, I sincerely hope you are not going to engage in pointless saber-rattling. I understand, Your Honor. If you cause this clown to stray with the facts, I'll hold you responsible. Oh, really? Why am I responsible? I'm not the one with the corny jokes. What you witnessed... Am I really gonna lose points if I press him when I don't need to? I'm just gonna save here and press him anyway, see what happens. You'd say that practice wrapped up around 10 PM, correct? See, that's the thing. Huh? How exactly am I supposed to make a joke about 10 PM? Now 8 o'clock, that's something a clown could riff off of. Let's just pretend it was 8 o'clock. That way I can make a great joke. Let's not. Let's not make it 8 PM. Alright, Mo? What do you mean, let's not? Don't take the clown out of the clowning around. Come on, Nick, just listen to his joke. There are 3 reasons why I don't want to. 1, I probably won't laugh. 2, I'll get hit with a penalty. 3, I'll get whipped. Would the witness just proceed with his factual testimony? You are so boring. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. What if we listened to his joke? Alright, 8 o'clock then. You know you want to hear the joke. A man goes to his doctor and the doctor asks, "How is number 1? The man says, "Every day at 6. Witness, these are exactly the types of jokes you should say for that detective. We didn't. You knew what would happen. Don't look at me like that. I didn't hear the joke. Mr. Wright, you are hereby penalized. This will not become a kangaroo court. I'm penalized for his bad jokes? Come on now. You were pooped that night. Yes, I was very tired, not to mention I had some bad Mexican food. What? The double cheese, double bean enchilada is a dangerous menu item. What happened after that, as they say happens, LaMayo. That one was cool, huh? I hear the kids really love toilet humor these days. That joke was so hip, I don't want to ruin it with a reply. I've got a good reply though. That joke was so funny I just earned you a penalty. Wow! I get penalized for everything. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did I glanced out the window. Why? You just happened to glance out of the window? You could say that. You could say I also peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, eyeballed. Mr. Curled! Oh, I guess synonyms aren't allowed either. What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on this issue. Sure, let's keep pressing. Why did you look? Exactly why did you look out of your window that night? Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out their windows, do they? You were tired. You were about to sleep. That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday. Once I had tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You forgot? Your Honor, the witness looked out of his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that thump, didn't I? That's not something you just forget to mention. Yeah, what she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony. Very well, Mr. Curls, please revise your testimony. This should start turning the tables in our favor. I heard a huge noise outside the window, and that's what made me look outside. What exactly was what was the sound like? Well, I guess it kinda sounded like, I guess you could say, Mr. Curls, may the court remind you that humor is unnecessary. Though how'd you know I was gonna make a joke, LaMayo? I guess that the sound sounded like a... I suppose it sounded like someone getting hit with something very hard. Yep, that's what it sounded like, honestly. Someone getting hit, huh? What then? You went to look out the window and you saw... That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away though. Far away, you say? If you had to say exactly how far away were they? Let me think about it for a second. If my room is here, and they looked about yay big, I'd say they were about 30 feet from my window. Just 30 feet? That's not far at all. It was snowing that night, and it cut down visibility. No, it wasn't. The snow stopped before they came out of the tent. I see. Please continue with your testimony regarding the two shadows that you saw. Don't I have the time of when the snow stopped? He heard the sound and then he heard the silhouette of two people. But if the sound was the guy getting hit, he would have been killed over already by the time he looked out. When he looked out, the guy wasn't keeled over. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. You'd say you clearly saw this, even though you were by your own admission far away? That's right, I had been thinking about it over and over since that night. But things didn't really make sense until I spoke with the prosecutor, Miss Von Karma. But now I am 100% certain that it was Max and the ringmaster that I saw that night. Just think about it, how could I be wrong if Max is always wearing his uppity symbols? Uppity symbols? Lawyers nowadays, do you even have to go to school anymore to be one? Alright, everyone knows what to do all together now, say it with Uncle Mo. See what I mean? It's always like this. The crowd never wants to go along with me. I must really be utterly and completely worthless as a clown. Enough foolishness. Get back on track. Will the witness please testify as to what he saw and only what he saw? I kept watching them and all of a sudden Max clunked the ringmaster over the head. You say you saw the ringmaster get clunked over the head? Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story. He really does enjoy the completely random non sequitur. What would you say the victim was struck with? You mean the weapon? I have no idea. Our weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right? But you were there, you didn't see it? That's not what I meant. You did say you did see everything, didn't you? Well, yeah, I suppose I did. Wait, no I didn't. I didn't see a weapon. LeMayo. Mo! Did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night?
Objection!
I would not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor clown. I have a lot of reasons. Because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty. Oh, that's a huge one. Let me save the game. Gulp. Isn't this a bit melodramatic? So what would it be then, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have any clear basis to believe that my witness did not see the crime? Of course I do. Look, there's multiple reasons. He heard a noise, and then he looked out, and then he saw the guy got hit. So the noise isn't the guy getting hit. I don't know what the noise was. Secondly, there's only one set of footprints in the snow. So there's the evidence that there wasn't two people there. I've got a great reason to make my claim. And I suppose you will be telling us all that great reason. Of course I will. The reason is the witness's very own testimony. What is the meaning of that, Mr. Wright? Mo said that he heard a sound like a thump of someone getting hit. He did say that. However, Mo just stated that the following under oath. I kept watching them and all of a sudden Max clunked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo is to be believed, when he says he looked out the window upon hearing a sound, there is no way he could have seen Max clonk anyone. Mr. Curls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessment? They didn't commit these clans to prominently escape from maximum security clan. What? Mr. Curls, are you reciting the C-Team theme to anger this court? No, I'm just stalling for time while I jog my memory. Great job, Nick. These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of the clown makeup to find the truth. You're back from your jog. Well, it pretty much happened the way I said. Pretty much. When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. Yes, it didn't. It wasn't what you said. It wasn't what you said at all. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statement. That's tampering with the witnesses. Von Karma. Tampering with witnesses again! So now you are saying that you did not see the defendant clunk the ringmaster? Yes. When I looked out my window, the ringmaster had already checked out. Checked out? Yep, he was on permanent vacation, as they say. LeMayo. Mr. Curls! Your Honor, you did not witness the actual crime, however you still say you saw the criminal, correct? Yes, exactly. The ringmaster was slumped over and I saw someone's silhouette next to him. Very well, then please testify to the silhouette you saw. I expect the truth! And if I even catch a hint of joke from you, I will put you in a holding cell until you learn court etiquette, got it? Got it. Here we go again. It was a bit far away, but the shadow could only have belonged to Max. There is no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. His silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. It's just his outfit. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime. No, we already established that he wasn't wearing his symbols. It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. They're not straight. Von Karma, the facts are not straight. But whatever, this should finally be good enough, yes? It is decisive testimony. Was Max really at the crime scene that night? No. He said he wasn't there, we have to believe in that. Alright, Mr. Wright, commence your cross-examination. The silhouette. Save, save, save. It was a bit far away, but that shadow could only have belonged to Max. Don't you think that you're going a little overboard with how explicit you're being? That shadow belonged to Max is an overly firm statement, don't you think? What are you getting at? I'm just saying that one of your fellow performers' life is on the line here. Are you truly 100% certain that it was Max? I am not the kind of person who would lie about something as serious as this. The silhouette I saw was Max, I'm convinced of that. It doesn't seem like he is jumping to any conclusions this time. Let's go over this again then. What makes you so sure that you saw Max that night? There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. Trilo said the same thing, but if it was just the symbols, then even I could have been wearing them. What if someone had just taken Max's symbols and worn them? I thought of that myself, but just looking at the shape of the face I saw, it must have been Max. How would you know? You're sure of that? Such a silly little boy. He threw his entire case headlong into a trap. His silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. The shape of his face? You're sure that is what you saw that night? Exactly what I said I saw is exactly what I saw. I've got eyes like a hawk. You've got eyes like a clown. Don't birds have terrible night vision? It depends which birds, Phoenix. But that's not all I saw. His face was silhouetted, but there's no doubt that it was him. You were able to see that kind of detail from your window? There was a light near the scene of the crime. Anyone with decent eyesight should have been able to see that much. Out of curiosity, Mo, what is your eyesight like? I can see like a hawk out of my left eye, and an eagle out of my right eye. Our records say his eyesight is a perfect 20/20. That must mean he could have seen the crime scene clearly. The more we look into this matter, the more suspicious it becomes. Hey, you asked me what my eyesight was like, not what it actually was. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. His cloak was fluttering in the wind? So you didn't actually see what the criminal was holding? That's correct. I've been curious to know what caused that loud noise. It must have been something incredibly hard. Too bad they haven't found a murder weapon to know for sure. They claimed it was a blunt object, at least it says so in the autopsy report. With Trilo's testimony and now Mo's, it really seems like Max is the killer. Nick, you've got to find a contradiction in this. That's not going to be enough. What? I have to prove that Mo saw someone other than Max that night. That's the only thing that will help. I've got to do it.